ToonGrin.
Now we can begin. It was a very long time ago, when animators didn't know anything about lip-syncing, and the world was perfect for mischief if you happened to be King of the Hobgoblins. For you see, the King of the Hobgoblins brought a gift to the world. A really confusing gift.
What a wonderful Canadian morning. Oh, and there's death. Hello and welcome back to Cartoon Corner. You know, Frozen was a pretty substandard movie. I won't deny the animation was impressive and the musical numbers could be catchy, but story-wise it left a lot to be desired, making the film come off shallow. Or to put it more simply,
my greatest paranoia may actually come to fruition with Frozen. Sure, Frozen is bad, but what makes me scared and angry is that Disney will now try to repeat the Frozen formula. Just make more money instead of being heartfelt and good like its past movies.
Frozen showed the clear signs of production hell. You know, when a movie stays in development for so long that it deteriorates to the point where it stops looking even remotely like what it started off as. Revisions, changing direction, and so on led to the film we have today. But clearly, when it comes to being based on Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen, as it states in the credits, nothing could be farther from the truth. I mean, Frozen has about as much to do with Andersen's tale as Disney's Hercules has to do with, well, Greek mythology. So today I wanted to show you the real Frozen. That being, Reader's Digest The Snow Queen. No, I'm serious. Reader's Digest produced an animated adaptation of The Snow Queen in 2003. That very same magazine you keep by the toilet to make sure that your friends know that you're super smart. And, it is glorious in all the right ways. So welcome, my children. Welcome to pain. And welcome to the Snow Queen. Looking at Discovery, you'd hardly believe this was a 2003 movie. It looks about as retro as those generic 80s films you'd find at the $5 bin in Blockbuster. I think my favorite part is that this isn't done ironically, but the cover shows true intentional laziness. I mean, the centerpiece pic and the two main characters hugging are just screenshots from the movie, just lazily chopped in. It's baffling that they wouldn't at least spruce it up with a blue border and some snowflakes. Maybe even add some icy font to have some semblance of a logo. Instead, we got generic white font. Way to go all out, Reader's Digest. But we'll sit here and look at this thing because at the very least, it'll probably be more accurate to the book than Frozen. But does that mean it will be better?
Nope.
Smolder, what are you wearing?
Oh, don't you remember, WHYBOY? This is the Elsa dress you got for your Frozen review. You know, before you pass the buck off to NERO?
Yeah. Thanks, man.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Well, we get an interesting start as Hans Christian Andersen, in animated form, begins narrating the story to these two nameless kids. Are these children abducted? Perhaps a snack for our dearly devoted writer, Mr. Andersen? Who knows? He's just there to tell the kids about the evil hobgoblin, because, you know, you can't mention the devil in children's tales, except in book form. Hello. Hey. Harold, get away from here. No devil. It's a kid's movie.
Oh, what? So, Disney can feature a musical with the magnificent, magnanimous might of the Dark Lord, but this movie can't even mention the D word devil, even though it mentioned it in the book.
Well, he's a hobgoblin.
Ah, fine.
So our hobgoblin is being quite the mischievous prick as he first freezes the moon to make an evil mirror and proceeds to smash it for the shits and giggles of it. Look at him so pleased.
Hundreds of millions of tiny fragments. They were born on the four winds and scattered all over the world, causing unhappiness in every land.
Oh, hobgoblin. Now with the smashing of his mirror, little bits of ice, glass, moon ice, it flies across the world, stabbing people in the eyes and heart, turning them into serious buttholes, like this guy in the Middle East.
I'm not gonna start the ISIS, mamma mia!
But with people turning to buttholes all over the world, we turn our attention towards a pair of kids. This is Kai and Gerda, two poor children who are best friends and are as close as siblings. We know this not because of character development and interaction, but because the cannibalistic child eater, Mr. Anderson, kindly tells us so.
Kai and Gerda were not brother and sister, but they loved each other just as much.
Logic is not our friend here.
Now, after no character development, unless you count this scene,
And from that day on, their grandmothers forbade them to play in their special garden when it was icy.
we have to hide the body, Kai!
It's pronounced Kai, you uncultured yank. Ah!
Although we do get a bit of a plot going as the Snow Queen makes her appearance, peering into the window of Kai as he's trying to sleep. Well, isn't that nice? Hey, Snow Queen, you better get out of here before I call Chris Hansen's ancestor on your ass. Back to that old hobgoblin. Well, he is up to no good, as his mirror shards hit Kai for a double whammy in the eyes and heart, making Kai see the world as ugly and makes him uncaring. So basically he hit puberty, and now he gets a character. Sure, it's a butthole like everyone else, but still, it's a personality of sorts, not this. Unsettling. He should be more like Gerda and her character.
Kai saved my life, and I won't believe he's dead till I have proof. Did you take my best friend Kai away? I forgot all about searching for Kai. But what about this boy who might be Kai? Kai, tell me it's you. I don't understand. Why would Kai be so mean to me?
Yeah, that's it. Over the next few years, we watch Gerda watch Kai as he is just a butthole to everyone, including his old person. You gotta love stories that just have the kids with dead parents and in poverty. Really, it's the best way to exploit your audience's emotions.
Look, Grandma, I'm all rickety and old, just like you.
I swear to the great white God, I'll smother you when you sleep.
So after nothing of substance happens, Kai is out with these two boys. Because this movie is teaching us that when you see the world as ugly and disgusting, you hang around men. There's nothing wrong with that at all. When Gerda approaches to ask why Kai is such a butthole, he answers like a pretentious prick.
I've got new friends now, and I don't like flowers anymore. They're messy and unmathematical.
Mathematical!
I'll explain it for you simply, shall I? You see, regular and orderly, in every detail. Perfect, like the Snow Queen herself. Compared with this, roses are just, well, ugly and untidy. Ugh.
What was he carrying a magnifying glass for? So the Butthole Brigade ditches Gerda and spends their fun hitching to the back of carriages, having a belly laugh as people are sprayed with fresh snow. But Kai, that puckish twit, ends up hitching a ride to the wrong carriage.
Hey, mister! Slow down!
You gotta love that not one person takes notice of this ethereal-looking carriage kidnapping a boy.
Stop! Let me off!
Roll off, numbnuts. There is literally nothing stopping you, and he's captured by the Snow Queen. Have fun being on the back of a milk carton. So with Kai gone to a pedophile sex dungeon, where he becomes brainwashed by the Snow Queen's magical kisses. Now don't worry, that was all in the original fairy tale, but still ill. We cut to Gerda and her old person, distraught over Kai's disappearance, but Gerda's old person is there to comfort her.
It's time you accepted he's gone. Some of the townsfolk think he may have, well, fallen in the river.
Really reassuring there, Grant. What did you do when her parents died?
Your father was eaten by a bear. Your mother shagged that bear and then said you were a mistake.
So, seeing Gerda still distraught, Granny does what would make any little girl feel better to accept her friend's death. Get her some sweet-ass new shoes! You know, ever since my mother, father, brother, son, and pet hamster have died, I thought I would feel really heartbroken. But you know, I then got some high heels, and then I just realized that I was too fabulous to be sad. Materialism. It works. But shockingly, even shoes can't seem to calm her sadness. So Gerda goes down to the river and asks it to give Kai back. Sweetie, I don't think that's how drowning works.
Well, Mr. River, is it true? Did you take my best friend Kai away? Here are my new red shoes. You can have them.
I'm water. What am I going to do with shoes? I can't even wear them.
Well then, Mr. River, catch! Oh!
No! Who does that? Now you die!
Now, of course, she doesn't die, but as Gerda saunters rather briskly down the river, she comes across a nearby cottage and is helped out by a kindly old person who bears a remarkable resemblance to Soapy from Howl's Moving Castle. Weird. The old person kindly takes Gerda in, feeds her, cares for her, and even uses a magical brush to comb Gerda's hair, wiping her memories of her friends, family, and making Gerda subservient to her and stay in her cottage forever. How kind. This was in the book as well. Gerda meets some old witch who wants nothing more than her companionship. The motive may be more commendable than most, but she is still abducting Gerda against her will and brainwashing her. You know, exactly what the Snow Queen just did with Kai? The villain? Why is she being painted as, oh dearie me, what a poor unfortunate soul as she brainwashes little girls? Give me a break. But after spotting some roses, Gerda remembers Kai and thus escapes the garden and runs away from the old witch, leaving on this scene. Gotta love how both the movie and book try to paint a kidnapper as sympathetic. How about we change the title of the story now to just The Stockholm Syndrome Queen? I think that's a much more fitting title for this series of events. But now we come to one of my favorite parts of the movie.
So Gerda ran, and all the time she had whiled away in the magic garden finally caught up with her.
Wow, that which stole her childhood years away from her. Wasn't she such a sympathetic character? That monster. So with her childhood over and her preteens abruptly starting, she continues on her quest to find Kai, running off in the snow while wearing nothing but a dress. So that's where Frozen got that. Now, while passed out from hypothermia, Gerda meets a talking crow, and yes, I overlooked this earlier, but animals do talk in this world. Nero always said that animals that talk in these sort of movies kind of threw him off. I don't really know why.
Boy, it sure is good to be alive. Is that a slaughterhouse?
Anyway, we can start with the first of many detours in Gerda's journey, as the crow takes her to this castle where she believes Kai has married a princess, but it turns out it wasn't him. So sad, so non-affecting the plot. Kai is actually with the Snow Queen, the Emerald City look-alike, completing a puzzle for her which she says will free her from her icy curse.
It will take an eternity to solve this puzzle. An eternity to break this spell. That's why I must keep you here.
Well, that was almost sad, until the ice cube bounced off her breast. You know, that sort of ruined that. Back with Gerda on her next big detour, after she is awarded a nice new carriage and clothes for breaking into the house of royalty, she sets out on a carriage ride where she is attacked and captured by bandits, forcing her to play tea party with their bandit daughter.
Now, play nicely, or I'll batter you.
Lovely playhouse you have here.
Mother got it for me.
Ooh.
From a big country mansion.
Yes, just before she knocked the place down.
We have company, reindeer, so shut it, or else.
Fairy tales are weird. So playing along, Gerda tells the bandit girl and her talking reindeer, who clearly has a broken flap nose. Seriously, what did the bandits have him compete in underground reindeer games? About her travels, which sways the heart of the bandit girl enough to let Gerda go. Gerda even scored the talking reindeer as a guide, and possible emergency food ration. Next up, we get Gerda and reindeer going on another side quest. First, they meet up with another witch, who says they must take a fish note to some sort of chimney witch, who rewards Gerda with a necklace of a snake eating itself. Or in simpler terms, the inevitable deus ex machina for the story. Just wait. But finally, Gerda makes it to the Snow Queen's ice palace, and with a farewell kiss from the reindeer.
Good luck.
She sets out to find Kai in a daze, still working on the Snow Queen's puzzle, but this time she is determined to break through to him.
Kai, please! You're under some kind of terrible spell. We used to play together in our rose garden. Don't you remember? I used to sing to you.
You hear that? That's the sounds of copyright-free music.
The strength of Gerda's love for Kai melted the splinter of ice in his heart, and the warmth of her song melted the sliver in his eye to a tear.
Well, that was easy enough. Now, like the book, after Gerda frees Kai, they two just sort of walk out of the Ice Queen's palace without even having to confront her again. So I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. Oh, God!
Gerda, no!
You wicked, heartless icicle! Just you let Kai go, or else! I'm not leaving here without him. You hear me?
Gerda, no! I say who stays and who goes round here, girl.
I also say that my boobs are bigger than your boobs, and I shall give Kai kisses right on the head and mouth.
Oh no, the story is deviating from the book! What are we gonna do now?
Wait, Your Majesty! It's the answer you've been looking for! What were the words of the curse? It will take an eternity to solve this puzzle. Not an eternity as in forever, but an image of eternity. It's a riddle. A word game.
So, wait. The Snow Queen's entire curse all banked on Gerda getting a hunk of jewelry. Let me just reiterate that. This all banked on Gerda leaving home, being abducted by a witch, meeting a talking crow, meeting royalty who rewards her for breaking into their home, being abducted by bandits, playing tea party with said bandit's daughter, finding a witch with a fish, a witch in a chimney who gives away a snake loop necklace to bring to the castle, where she kisses a reindeer and then hands it to Kai, who arbitrarily solves the riddle that froze the Snow Queen's heart, who was now revealed to be a fairy all along! So the curses has been lifted and the terrible trio escaped the crumbling ice castle and caused massive global warming since this was the North Pole but everything has melted. Al Gore was right. Thus the story ends with Kai and Gerda shacking up, ill, the fairy giving them ice skates for reasons explained in the book, and Mr. Anderson leaves with his Meals on Wheels. The end. And that was the real Frozen story, technically speaking. Yeah, Frozen, based on the book, it is not. It really has nothing to do with Snow Queen. Well, this is a near true blue adaptation, apart from the little bits at the end that were different, and quite stupid, I might add. So, being the closer adaptation to the story, this must be the better movie, right? No, don't be stupid. Well, Reader's Digest, I gotta give you credit. This adaptation of The Snow Queen was pretty spot on. It kept many of the key scenes from the book, kept a good pace in accordance with the book, and apart from some kidifying of the material, with Mr. Hobgoblin and the Snow Fairy, this is a very faithful adaptation of the book. But being that faithful is fruitless when it's an adaptation of a story that wasn't even that well told. The Snow Queen falters exactly the same in book and movie. Their narratives are just handcuffed to just arbitrary pit stops between story beats, which makes it slow and boring as a movie, and slow and boring as a book. That is until its climax, where when they do deviate, it's practically insulting. It wasn't bad enough Kai and Gerda's relationship was glossed over. No. They went one step further and made Gerda's most important role in this movie to be just a delivery girl for some jewelry. Riveting! Maybe establish it as an outsider she's thought through the puzzle more clearly than even the Snow Queen or Kai did. You know, give her a tangible role in the story rather than being just Kai's weeping girlfriend. But even if they did keep this book's walking off without even facing the Snow Queen ending, the movie is put together so amateurishly with stale wooden voice acting, inconsistent art design, and just awkward animation that it'd be bargain bin material either way. This movie is simply put but. I mean, it's cool that someone tried to adapt this story, but the source material was doomed to begin with. Frozen, rightfully so, only took a few elements from the book. Any more and let it go would only be said in reference to letting these two films drop into an icy, murky bog. But now with the new year upon us, it's time for more Cartoon Corner reviews. But until then, I gotta go take a Snow Queen, if you know what I mean. So, until then, see you next time on Cartoon Corner. No! Damn it! 2 more? Is there anything worse than the... WHYBOY here. Thanks for watching this episode of Cartoon Corner. Please be sure to follow us here on VidMe and on the social media to keep up to date on all of our new videos. And if you want to support said videos, you can buy from our TeePublic shirt shop, support us on our new Patreon, or contribute to NERO's GoFundMe. All links to those are in the description below. So, until next time, be sure to tune in to ToonGrin. Peace